Hey guys, tell you what I'm going to do today. I'm going to walk around my Hewescraft 200 Pro V, and I'm going to kind of give you a semi-detailed look of the trailer it sits on, what motor I use, and the options that I have on my boat. I have a friend of mine that works for Clemens Marine in Eugene, Oregon, actually Springfield, Oregon, I think it is, and he sells these boats, and that's who I've actually bought this one from. It was used. It's a 2015. Trailer's also a 2015, but he says that on this particular model nothing has really changed as of 2022 right now. So let's go through the trailer, the boat, and all the options I have. All right, well, this is an easy load trailer. As you can see, it does have a swing away tongue, which is really nice for you guys that have a small short garage and you want to pull this pin here, pulls up, and it looks like you're gonna save yourself about 3 feet. I'm sure the brochures will tell you exactly what you can save on it. Got a spare tire for it. Winches are real nice on these trailers. I never have any issues with it. Got a safety chain. This particular one has, I think they all come with at least one surge brake, discs, as you can see there. Now the newer ones on the Pro Vs, they come with a tandem axle. Not that this is, it almost seems too light for this trailer or for this boat. I've never had any issues. The guy that I bought it from actually put on some 10 plies on there. I don't know how many miles I have on it. It's only about 15 miles one way to the ramp for me, so I don't really see any issues. So if you do buy one, I think I would go with the tandem axle. In fact, I don't think they sell a single anymore. You can get them with stock as with the bunks that generally they're carpeted bunks that come up, you know, as you normally see them. This is an option. Just kind of sleeker, kind of nice. You can hit it and it'll push you right up into there without any damage to the hull of the boat. I say this is a 2015 on this boat here. Walk to the back. It's got really nice LED lights. Now these rims, they look kind of funky just because they've been in salt water. I've never had this boat in fresh water. Previous owner did have it in fresh water, so all my fishing trips are in salt. I kind of washed these up a little bit yesterday, but I think you could buy some nicer rims than what comes on these. These are aluminum rims, so they won't rust, but they just lose their sex appeal. All right, so let's walk to the boat now. I don't know if there's any more if there's anything else on this that's an option or that's standard that you need to use or to get. I'll just walk you around this side of the trailer and the boat. Have these tie downs, work real well with this boat. You can either attach them here or you can attach them over to this side. I think it's better here to tie them straight back off the transom. Okay, so this boat, I'm running a 150 Honda, which I really love this motor. Very fuel efficient. I seem to get 2 or 3 miles to the gallon on it. At about 4,300 RPM. Again, this is a 150. I've got some other friends of mine that run the exact same boat, and they run a 115, and they seem to do just fine with that. Gets up on plane. This boat will run with me loaded with a couple guys in it. We can do about 42 miles an hour on a flat ocean. Plenty fast enough. I'm glad that the guy that I bought it from put a 150 on it, though. When you need that little bit of extra horsepower going over some big waves and stuff, it does help out a lot. Now you can get different transoms, as most of you that are, if you're looking for a used Hewescraft, the other ones are the extended transom. which will bring the boat out another couple feet. So if you have garage issues, that may not be for you. Swing away tongue will help a little bit. I kind of wish I would have gone with an ET, although I did buy this used. I didn't really have an option, and I like the boat. But I think it would just give you a little more fishing platform room in the back than this does. Although you sacrifice the length of the boat for your garage, and I think that's an issue for a lot of guys. But the other thing that I heard about extended transom, when you have fish on, sometimes they'll get caught up in the back. You know, you'll have to kind of move around to get around there to get the fish in the boat. But I don't think that's any of a big deal. But I think I would go that route, although there's really nothing wrong with this at all. As you can see here, there's a tarp that covers the back of this, which is something. I leave this boat out 365 days a year. I don't have the benefit of having a large garage. As you can see here, I got a little single car garage at this house, so I leave it outside all the time. Now this came with this. The guy that had it before, he used to actually go fishing, and he would put this on there and sleep inside here, and you'll see the bed setup that's in here, which is really nice. This also keeps a lot of the rain off. Here in Oregon, it rains almost all winter long, so this keeps it nice and dry. I do have a full cover that goes on the top of this. It's a generic cover that I got from Amazon, and if I can remember, I'll put the link down below for that cover that fits on this boat. It's a little bit big, and you got to do a little bit of modifications as far as how it sets in the boat and stuff. But boy, it was super dry, no mold inside this boat. I put it away dry, and I came in the early summer to pick it up. It was dry and it was nice, so I'll leave you that link. But I'm going to take this cover off. It comes off real easily. Again, these are custom made for this boat. They just snap in and then they zip up. As you can see here, they will zip up tighter than what this is. I just go fishing so much that it's easier just to keep this like here. What the reason is I've got a lot of pine trees around here. These pine trees drop needles, and I don't want the needles in the boat, especially, you know, if you're out there and you've got problems with your bilge pump sucking up all those little bitty pine needles that are in here. So this just uncovers like this, pretty darn easy. Just takes a few minutes to get it off, but as you can see, keeps everything dry, keeps everything clean. One thing I didn't talk about is this 9.9 Honda that's on here also. It is also a 2020, I believe. He just put this on when I bought the boat. As far as size goes, I think the 9.9 is perfect for this. I wouldn't go any bigger than that. But it works well. Electric start. I'll explain to you a little bit too about the automatic system it has on it for trolling. So let me get the rest of this off here. I'll show you just zips. Zips off right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Comes off there. Comes out here. Then you can fold it up. Well, it's kind of a mess. I went fishing the other day. I kind of semi-cleaned it up. Okay, this boat does have a few options in it compared to what you would get just on a standard. Some of the you can go online actually and find this pretty easily on Hewescraft website, but length of this boat is 20 foot 4 inches. Now that doesn't include how far the motor sticks out or anything like that. That's just the basic boat. And what I've been told, the reason they do 20 foot 4 inches, not 20 foot or 19.9 or anything like that, is the bars here, which are the jetties where you go in and out. They can restrict those for boating, for letting us in or out. If you're out, this is my belief now, what they tell me, if you're out in the ocean and they restrict it to 20 feet, they do sometimes, 16, 20, 22, 24, whatever, this boat is 20 feet 4 inches. So if they say it's restricted to 20 feet and you have a 19 foot 10 inch boat, you can't go across the bar and get back in. You got to wait until they lift it. So at 20 feet 4 inches, you could go across on that bar. Now that's what I've been told. The reason that they made these, whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's the length. All right, it's got a 94-inch beam, which is plenty. You got a lot of nice fishing room here, as you can see. I don't know what 94 inches is. Almost 8 feet. So it's 1, 2, 4, 5, about a little over 6 foot floor space, assuming my feet are usually about 12 inches long. It's got a 32-inch side view. Now this is really something that if you guys are going to buy a boat and you're going to go in some big water, it's 32 inches from here to the floor. Now what that'll do is that lets you lean up against the side when you're fishing, when it's kind of rough and bouncy out there. You got this rail here also. It helps, something you can hang on. Now this is also an option on this particular boat. Generally you only come about to here. The guy that I got it from had this option put on and put it clear over to here. Really makes it nice. As you can see, we got a rod holder here. You could put another rod holder there if you wanted. Of course, we have one here, there, and all around the rest of the boat there. But that is a nice option to have. I don't know what the cost is on any of this stuff. You'd have to talk to the your salesperson at your marina. All right, yeah. So anyway, that's something to look for in a boat. I know some of them are a lot lower. They come down somewhere here. It's a chance you could fall overboard. So it's a good thing to know. Let's see what else. Person capacity, you can put 7 people in here. The maximum capacity 1,155 pounds of persons in it, so that's about 165 pounds a person, which is about what I weigh. I know a lot of my buddies exceed that, but I never have 7 people on this, so for me it's no big deal. This boat holds 48 gallons of gasoline. At 2 miles to the gallon, you easily do the math. You can go 100 miles round trip on this without refilling. That's just a basic. I mean, never push it that far. Let's see, maximum horsepower. It says you can put 175 horse on here. 150 is plenty. I don't know that you need any more than that. Okay, dry weight on this boat with nothing in it is 1,700 pounds. That does not include the trailer. That's just the boat. Now you put 48 gallons in there at, I don't know, is it 8 pounds per gallon? That's another 400. You got the motor on there, so by the time you get done, I believe I was somewhere around 3,500 pounds fully loaded with everything in here for me, which is great because I pull this with a Toyota Tacoma, a new Toyota Tacoma that I bought. Actually, it's sitting right there. Now the only reason I bought that particular small truck, it's got a V6 in it. I think it'll pull up to 6,700 pounds. It will fit in this garage. This is a vacation home for us, so what I do is leave that truck here and it'll fit in that garage, and that's the only reason I bought that truck, to pull it. Pulls it just fine. So any guys are looking, to have to buy a bigger truck, I don't know, I pull it with that one. I'm more than happy. I've got a half-ton Chevy truck that I keep at home. We live in Wyoming. It pulls it just fine too, but I don't see too much different. This got a V8, this got a V6. I don't know what the horsepower of the Chevy is. All right, so let's see. What are we going to talk about here? We've got this here. It's a fold down. Gives you that extra fishing room there if you want, which makes it nice and easy to load. If you have guests or smaller people, if you want to get in, there's a swim ladder back here and a platform. So if you got somebody, if you want to do some swimming with the kids, the grandkids or whatever, that makes it nice. You can come in, you get easy into the back of the boat that way. Okay, let's see. We'll put that back up. That's not an option either. I think that's just standard on these Hewescrafts. This comes up. You got pretty easy access to the back here. You got the 2 batteries, bilge pump, aerator pump. That's another thing. Got your selector switch for the batteries. The 2 batteries that I have. Everything's pretty neat and compact in there. When you get a little older like me, though, it's hard to lay on your belly and work on that kind of stuff. So. But all boats are going to be that way. It's got nice places to store your tackle. This goes clear all the way to the bow. It's got that on both sides. I've got a crab davit here that we use for crabbing here on the Pacific coast. It slides right up into here and over. It's nice as it's removable. It also helps when people get in the boat, give them something to hang on to when they come in the boat. This boat, I don't think the actual cover on these boats is an option. You don't have to buy it with that cover on there. It really does come in handy though here on the coast where it's cold. We use it a lot. My wife goes, and like in February we go fishing out in the ocean here. We can put one of those small portable propane heaters in here. Man, it'll run you out if you're not careful. So that's really kind of nice. Got some rod holders here on the side that is put on. There's also some rod holders here. These are just some options that we put on after the fact. These are not standard. I believe these seats are not standard. I think these are also an option, if I recall. Now this particular boat, as I told you earlier, the guy that had it before me got it with a bed seat. So what it is you just have these two metal bars here, which you just unclip, set it in these excuse me, these two. These come off. Let me see if I can put this somewhere and show you. Maybe I can't. Anyway, these come off here and make for the bed. I'm gonna see. Oh, here we go. These just pop off, just like this, and they actually make for the bed this way. It's not an option I've ever used, but you know, sometimes if you go to a different port and you just want to spend the night, you don't want to, and you got in late, you don't want to get a hotel room, you can put that in and zip it up and you'd be nice and toasty and warm in here. Yeah, one thing this does have, it does have some really nice scuppers. This is self-bailing. I guess you could say it's not bailing, but when you're in the boat, all the water will, as you wash down, that's another thing too, when you wash it down, it all goes into the bilge pumps it out. This, I think, is an option, is a wash down pump and a hose. You can see here, it just turns on here. Wash down just brings salt water or water from the out exterior, and it's really nice. You get a lot of blood in the fish, blood from the fish, and you can wash down, which is really nice to have. Okay, yeah, I was going to show you the scuppers up here. I think they're 1.5 inches, or maybe they're 2-inch scuppers in the front. Sometimes you take some waves over the bow. There's one there. I'd say that's 1.5 inches. There's also another right here. I do have an anchor on this. I don't have it on here at the moment. Also an option, up here you have a storage area. Get that out of the way. In this area you can use it as, I haven't had this open for a while, as you can tell. This particular one has an option of a live well up front. So if you're out fishing and you need to put your fish somewhere, keep them alive, this is really nice. There's a switch up on the dash that turns the live well on, and it's not huge, but you know, you could probably use that, put some ice in there, use it as a fish holding facility if you didn't have something, didn't have an ice chest. It also has a lock on it, which I think I need to do some work to this because it feels like it's freezing up on me a little bit. A little WD-40. One of the other options that's in this boat that the guy had before me, generally these don't have carpet in them on side there. I think it makes it a little bit quieter inside. The only thing you gotta, you know, you get a lot of blood and stuff, you guys gotta keep it clean, wash it off, which is something I need to do. I believe these downrigger brackets are an option also as you weld this onto here, as you can see. I believe so, but again, this is just my opinion of what I think. You just have to ask your dealer. One of the things that's really nice too in our country here, since we really have some rough seas, are these cushioned seats. These are smooth move cushioned seats. I think they're just spring loaded. They're not an air ride cushion, but they work fairly well at not inexpensive, but less expensive than a lot of them are. Well, another thing too, when you put a 150 on this, and you can do it on smaller motors, I believe, but this has the Baystar steering, hydraulic steering on it. Many of you guys know, if you've had boats before, after a while your steering gets kind of rough and hard, especially in tight quarters and stuff. So that Baystar steering is, man, it's an option, but I really like it. The dual windshield wipers, I believe those are options also. But again, if you're getting some rough water, getting splashing over the front, which we get a lot of here. Yeah, so let's see. What other options are in here that I can think of? We've got some more storage under here. It goes up underneath there a ways. You can also get to your live well hoses and things from there. And I didn't show you underneath these here, but there's a lot of room for storage under both of these seats. And those are probably at least 3 by, it's like 18. It's got a lot of places to hang on to, like here, definitely in the passenger here. It's got a couple cup holders. There's one on that side, one on this side. Here's the dash on this one. One of the things that I wish that this boat did have, and I keep thinking I'm going to add it on, and maybe it's not stock, but they have a gauge that you can hook up either to your depth finder or actually right onto your dashboard instead of a speedometer like this, and it's all digital. It'll tell you what your your fuel consumption is at that particular time, how many gallons you have left. You can calibrate all that stuff, and that would be a real nice option to have, especially if you're going offshore somewhere far, long. One of the things too I really haven't talked about is going offshore with this and how does it handle. I've been probably not a long ways, but I think I've been 30 miles offshore halibut fishing. You have to pick your days no matter what boat you have, whether you have a 20-foot 4-inch boat or if you have a 28-foot boat. The guys that are accustomed to that know that you have to pick the days that your boat can handle, and you won't know that until you get out in your boat and find out. But you can ask around, talk to people. I haven't had any issues with this. The only thing is if you're bucking a good wind and a good wave coming back, it's going to bounce you around, no matter if you have these seats that we have here or what. You know, if you might have gone out at 25 miles an hour in the morning, but on the way back you're bucking the wind and the waves and the current and stuff, and you know you're going to be going 10 or 15 miles an hour. But that's just, I think that's on any boat. But this particular one, if I had to do it over again, because of the space I'm limited to, the only thing I'd really like to have is a dual axle trailer. The boat I like fine. I think it does fine in the ocean. I wouldn't take it out 100 miles, of course. You got to watch your fuel consumption. You know, I got 100 miles round trip maximum. You know, I could always add extra gasoline. I mean, there's places in the bow that I could put other gas tanks and that kind of stuff if I was going to go out tuna fishing out further than I would normally do. Oh, one thing, this Master ProMaster controller, Pro-Trol, is what I use to control the 9.9 horse if we're salmon fishing or something like that. They've got a newer version out now. I can't tell you what the name of it is, but you know, you can do it manually, and you don't have to. Well, not manually. You got a remote control. Okay, the remote control I think would be nice to have. We generally steer from here and just watch from the back, and you can see where you're going and how you're going. But it'd be nice just to have it around your neck, and you can go left or go right or whatever. Especially when you get only 2 guys in the boat, or you're by yourself in the boat, and you know your boat with between the wind, the current, whatever, kind of push you around. You could control it with that. Now, if you had autopilot. I got a buddy that's got autopilot, and I tell you that's the way to go if you could afford it. I think it's a couple $1,000s, and for me, only being here part-time, it's not something that's in my wheelhouse right now. Pros, I think, is the ride. I think the ride's just fine. I mean, it gets up on plane. It does have some adjustable tabs in the back if you want to trim it to where it doesn't porpoise on you, even with the motor down and stuff, so you can do that. The washdown pump, man, I wouldn't buy a boat without the washdown pump. You're gonna like that if you do a lot of fishing. Okay, some of the cons that I'm gonna tell you now that I don't like about the boat. That's not the boat. I guess it's just the salt water, or maybe the manufacturer's paint. I don't, but there's a lot of peeling going on. I'm pretty fastidious about keeping things clean. I don't know if you can see this right here, but you can, even after washing this, you can see the water got underneath the paint or something here, and it's bubbling. Now this isn't just something for this year. I've got a friend of mine that bought a brand new one. He had to take it in and have it worked on. Anytime that you put a screw or a bolt or something into here, that salt water will get behind that paint, and there's an issue with it bubbling. Now maybe you can see it even better right here, all around this here. I don't think that this is just a Hewescraft problem. I think it's probably something just to do with the salt water. There's a lot of boats that I've seen are a lot worse than this. One of them was in North River. It was even worse than this. A little bit older than this though. Well, this is another thing that was an option too, is this plate, which is kind of nice to have. You can step on there. Normally the plate's about maybe half of that size or so. Also, we do some crabbing, so when you pull a crab pot in, you can lay it on top of that. You don't have to worry about scratching the paint. Maybe just a little bit out here. Okay, so that was one of the cons that I had with this. Another thing would be nice, and I think they have this as an option now, is to put a sliding window right here. You know, they've got areas here that you can unzip and let some fresh air in, but it's just kind of a pain. If they just had a little small window right here that you could open up, let some fresh air in. And not only that, you've got a cleat that's over here, and if you're by yourself or even with one person, if you put a cleat on it, you can't even get to it to get your buoy off if you got a buoy tied or if you got a rope tied onto that. So a lot of times we forget and it's on there, and then we're going like, gosh, how am I going to get that off? And you got to lean way over the bow back this way just in order to take a buoy off. Let's see what else. Those are really two cons that I have. Other than that, I think it's a great boat. It's not the bottom of the line, not the top of the line, but it's right in the middle. I think that's it. Other than that, I've got two Garmin's on here. 94 SV is a real nice one. I really like that. It's nice to have dual that you can use, one for your depth and one for your GPS and stuff. And of course I've got also a compass in here. When you're out in the ocean, you never can tell. But anyway, that's it. If you have any other questions, leave me a comment. I appreciate you guys watching this. It's been I know it's a long one, but if you're looking to buy into Hewescraft, I think you ought to check this video out. So anyway, thank you guys. Hope I didn't forget anything. Till next time, adios.